I'm in Cece's room and I'm about to put together this bookshelf because last week I had a bit of a hissy fit, as we might call it, about the lack of space and how it's difficult to work on putting together embroidery kits, working on projects, filming in the space that we have or don't have. So as a result of me kind of saying to Chad, I've got no space to work and it's getting really hard to be productive, he said, why don't you turn Cece's room into your studio, sort of. And at first I was like, no, there's no space there either. And he was like, yeah, there is space. And he was absolutely right. So what we need to do is be a bit smarter about the space we do have in here. So he suggested Cece's room because she's not here during the day. She's at school. And even when she is here, she tends to just hang out with us downstairs. She doesn't spend a lot of time on her own in her room. So we talked to her and said, look, would it be okay if I put a desk in here? And she said, yeah, absolutely fine. Because I know she's a kid, but she's still a human being and we should still respect her wishes because she's part of this family. And I didn't expect her to say no. She's just not that kind of a kid. The plan is this. We have space. I think you can see there's a lamp back here. Yeah, there. That's a little night table. She's got matching night tables. They're very pretty. They're a really nice colour and they're full of her stuff. So what we're going to do is put together this shelf to put in the corner where that light is so that we've got vertical space that Cece can put all her stuff on, including the stuff that's on this chest over here. And then when the desk comes, which is hopefully tomorrow, we may have to spend the day tearing her hair out. I'm a little nervous that we're not going to be able to put it together. I'm also nervous about the size of it and how it's going to fit. But what we are going to do is move the chest and put it at the foot of her bed because there's actually space there, and just kind of reconfigure things a little bit for her so that she's got space. There's not clutter everywhere. And then when I put the desk in here, it's not going to feel like too much. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. We'll put the bookshelf together today. Fingers crossed the desk comes tomorrow. We can reorganize things in the garage. I can start to consolidate all the things that I'm using in one space, and hopefully it will be a whole new world. They always wrap these things really hot, aggressively, don't they? Which I shouldn't complain about, but it can be a bit of a nuisance. There we go. Looking forward to putting this together. The desk here that I want to put together and put in this space here. I'm a little bit nervous because I did read some reviews online of this desk. It was really cheap, which was one of the reasons I got it. The other reason was that it was free shipping. I looked into those really beautiful writing bureaus, you know, the ones where you can lock them away. But we eventually decided against those because as pretty as they were all difficult to get. You'd have to drive there, pick the thing up, try and fit it in my dad's car, which isn't big. The other thing was that they were a good idea when we originally thought I might have to have something downstairs where we all kind of hang out to lock away, but then we realised we didn't really need that if we were going to put it in Cece's room, and there's more space here. So we went for flat pack, which is not ideal because you have to put it together. And the reviews that I read on eBay were that it was decent for the money, but the instructions took a minute to figure out. So that's what I'm nervous about. I love a flat pack that gives you a screwdriver, or let's say all the tools that you need. I cannot tell you how many times I've done pieces of furniture and it'll say, and you'll need a screwdriver, and I'm always like, ugh. Now, fortunately, I was prepared. Here's one that I brought with me to make sure I was prepared, but I love that they gave me one too. Okay, so this is how we are set up now. Looks pretty chaotic, I know. There's Cece's laundry basket there sort of on the side, but I've decked it out a little bit and it's working out great. It is a small space, but it's much easier to work in than what I had before. So let me come in a little bit closer. You can see I did put a plant here. This might have to move. It's quite big. It's in a big pot. I might have to find a smaller pot. These are cuttings from another plant that I have. So, and then we've got over here the workspace. It's looking a little crammed right now. And then over here is a lamp that I bought from a charity shop for £3.50. And I really like the colour, and it's such a great sort of retro style. I couldn't resist it. And then I got this lacquer tray for £2.50. I love the black and I really like the cherry blossom design. And I think it'll be a good little setup for backdrop for filming. It does have a little bit of glare, but that's okay. We've got some storage. I put this little thing here to add another level. And then under this is like a really great set of storage. It's empty right now, but it won't be for long. I brought these from the US, the same for this one, and it's acacia wood. It's really tough wood. I like the colour and the grain of it a lot. I've got a little bit of an altar space here, and then at the top here, we're having to be careful with the shelf. It's very rickety because it does sway, so anything that's on there has to be fairly kind of stable. Cece put her Labubu on there for me. Yeah, so doing pretty good. Another thing I wanted to show you is I've been working on packaging for the new embroidery kits. The original packaging was like cellophane bags with inserts, and I had some people said they didn't mind them. Other people felt that they were a little bit cheap, and they probably were, and they were cheap to put together. But actually they were not that cheap because I had to then create these printed inlays to put in the cellophane bags. And they were quite expensive to print, and you had to do a different one for each design. So now that I'm in the UK and I'm starting the business up again from the UK, I wanted to rethink the packaging, and I tried a pillow box kind of thing, but it was too small. And then this I found after, and I tell you, so much time was spent looking for packaging, I can't tell you. And this is what I've come up with, and I actually think this is really going to work nicely. It came flat and it fits everything perfectly. So you can see it comes out like this and they come out flat like this. So, and they're pretty reasonably priced, and it just snugly fits the embroidery hoops, some embroidery silks, and the design. And I'm going to eventually have a little card that will have on it a QR code to get the instructions. And the reason I'm doing that is because the printing is prohibitively expensive, in my opinion. It's a hassle to pick it up, and it is a hassle to get done. It's a lot of organising, which is resources that, you know, it's my time. And I want to make all of that streamlined. I also think it's kind of a waste of paper. It's not very sustainable. So instead, I'm going to put a small business card in here with a QR code, and it will go to the instructions for all of my kits. And they'll be online, and people can have the option to download them as a PDF. But that's what I'm going to do going forward. I've noticed that other kits, craft kits, have started to do this. I just think it's great, because also once you're done with the embroidery kit, it's rare that people keep hold of the instructions. I know I certainly never do. It also means I don't have to keep printing them. I don't have to keep kind of making endless new ones. And also it'll be great because then when people go to that QR site, they'll get the instructions for that and all the other kits too. So then they can see what other kits are available to them if they're wanting to buy them. So I think that's going to be good. So if you've been watching my videos, you might have seen me working on this one. It is a design I came up with that was originally a painting that I made into an altarpiece. So I decided to make it into an embroidery design. I bought this box from World Market in the US. I absolutely love the box. It's solid wood, but the problem is it had this very pretty metal inlay, or I don't know, metal design all the way around the sides, and then it had a hamster handle on the top, and they all fell off. This glue got all kind of gross, and now it just looks like this, which isn't very nice. The sides I'm not too worried about right now because they're not so visible, but I do want to do something with the top. Unfortunately, this fits really well on the top, so I'm just gonna glue gun the whole thing and put it on top and hope that it works.